Hello and welcome. Right, we are we are manoeuvring. Yes, swinging a screw. We have a worker. We have the corset. I have the Massey boys. We have no lights, but this does not surprise me. Although no, it's not too bad actually. This one for an October morning, not too bad. Now we've got the right header this time, so we're in a better position than we were last session. Do you know how many times I've done that? You would think. It is. I have a bad habit. I do admit it. I'm a bit of a like seat of the pants sort of person, as in like I'll just go, and it does mean, although my job's a real thinking job, I not don't like always just think. I just react or act, not always react, although I do react as well. But yeah, it's more about acting. I just like go. That is my sort of starting position with anything, and it does get me into trouble. So it is a character flaw, basically, is what I'm saying. Right, okay then. We're going to go straight into a time lapse for this because I'm hoping to do everything in this session, as in like the totting up as well. So this is going to take still fairly hefty field, strangely enough. So and this zigzagging, as you see, you're missing so much crap on the edge of the field. It's unbelievable. If there was one thing I was going to say I don't like, it's that, and it's not, this is not the only map maker that does it. But I've got to be honest, they win points on me for the gates. Massive thing. When I think back to Fairhead, that was my biggest bugbear. Now, the map maker did allow you to go through the. It had stone. No, it gave you very kind collisions. But again, if you're trying to create content, you don't want to be going through stone things with headers and stuff like that. It looks as Miss CLP is always talking about immersion, and it is true. Well, I've got to stop quoting Miss CLP for everything, really. It's not like I'm a stranger now. I should be able to stand on my own 2 feet and make my own decisions based upon. Now, I suppose it's calling into a credible witness, someone that people would trust in, and Mr. CDP, his name does engender that kind of trust and respect. So yeah, I think it's that you're not sort of trusting to your own authority. Anyway, yeah, enough of this very deep thoughts going on a Sunday morning. I think it's time we went into a time up so that this session is not an hour and a half long. Yeah, so I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Right, I'm being thorough. I thought there's just too much of the tufts all the way around the field to actually not grab them like. So it sort of does add up to quite a lot, really. I I thought I'd sort of mention this because yeah, it's there's often a lot of mods that you sort of I've got to attribute a lot of the success of my game and my playstyle down to the additional straw mod. Without that, we would not be on millions now because it's that the extra straw that then gets turned to silage that's making us millions. It is. I mean, we are working, we are grabbing the straw off the field. We can see that. I'm having to put the work in, but what I'm saying is, yeah, the availability of that without this, like with the additional straw mod, we wouldn't have all of this vast amounts of cash. We wouldn't have this additional silage. Um, yeah, we wouldn't have the fertilizer because of that. So we would probably now be on about 1.5 million. We still would have been doing well, but this is extraordinary. But I've got to sort of mention the fact that the additional straw. Yeah, that I knew there was not a lot of space left. Yeah, it's the additional straw mod that really on lots of the Let's Plays. I mean, we don't use the B. Yeah, try not to overuse the BDSSB, but I thought this one I wanted to. I wanted to use every partner that I know of to do my absolute utmost to pull out all the stops, to sort of do the very best I could with animals, the very best that I could. I mean, we've not gone into sheep or anything else as well. Mainly done cows because time. It was originally only going to be a short run, and then I did fall in love with the map. I love the gates. I know I keep going on about, but it's important to me. It's so many have got just a single gate, and you wouldn't be able to use this twin screw with only single gates, as we sort of found out. Yeah, we'd sort of I'd have to build mounds over every, and you can't do that. It's twin screw is a lovely. Well, it's not the only harvester like that. It's quite a wide. Its profile is quite big. Even when its steps are folded in, it's still a little bit meaty. Oh, let's get this last little bit done, and then we're going to literally go straight into. Yeah, one trick I did miss that I realised was I meant to. It all went sort of pear shaped a bit. I wanted to get the some manure in because we've been missing a couple of days where there's a shed load of manure and we've not been. It is going down, but not going down enough because we're not using it properly. I've sort of yeah it's a chugger. I keep talking about the best pledge home brewed is a chugger, and it is. So therefore, there's a glut, which means I could take. I did it once, took a load, and I stuck it in there, but then I didn't do it after that. And really, I'm missing a bit of a trick. Again, I'm talking about doing the best you can within reason. As a human being, you do make mistakes, especially. This is why I don't normally do go this production rich because you sort of forget some of the things because you sort of like trying to fine tune everything and try and make the. I always talk about dynamic sessions. That's what I mean. I like to make them flow where I'm not faffing around. Apart from if I'm going into like, yeah, I don't like it anymore. I'm getting a little bit better at like thinking, hang on a minute, you're wasting people's time. Shut the cameras off, pack it in for a minute, and just, you know what I mean. But I mean, then also I am so you sort of come to a rock on a hard place because you might have that eureka moment off camera, and then you miss it. So it's trying to find the medium, the balance. I try now to sort of think, hang on a minute, you've been on this thing for like 3 or 4 minutes. Give everyone a break and like pack it in. Like sometimes finding the production in the menus and things like that. I'm trying to get better. Yeah, there's this entire bits around the entire field where we did those bits as well. Because again, it's quite a lot of straw. It is. It's true. I'm trying to get better at it. But again, you cooked in a rock and a hard place. I know Mr. CDP, his playstyle is different to me. He doesn't show everything. He shows bits and bobs. Whereas I like to prove how. It's the how that's important. Now I know. I think most of us who follow this channel know he's a trustworthy individual. So at no point am I saying, "Oh, I believe Paul's," not doing it properly because I don't think that for 1 minute. He's yeah, definitely, I would not think that of him, and I don't think anybody would. But what I'm saying is, it's that burden of proof, and that's important to me. But again, I always do sort of think, yeah, but is it important to everybody else? As in, like, would they rather you not do what you're doing, and they'll take your word for it that you are going to be you're being honest? But I think, well, yes, I suppose it's a bit like CSI, the burden of proof, which is why I do time lapses a lot, so you can see, but you're not wasting hours on watching how long it would really have taken me, or it really does take me to do a single session is often an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it's usually condensed into. I think the one yesterday was 25 minutes. Yeah, but it took me an hour and a half. The time lapse was, like it made it a third, so it's 20 minutes instead of an hour, and the chatting was 30 minutes, so, or 20 minutes, so therefore it was like 25. I can't remember if I'm getting the sessions mixed up, but one of them was like 25 minutes long, but it wasn't 25 minutes long really. It was 25 minutes after the time lapse, because I'm trying to show you that, like, not it's not like full length where you give up the will to live because it takes so long for me to do this. But most of the sessions also are meaty. I do try and make them count, which is why we have done so well on this. We have put the work in, and that's what I'm saying. The additional straw mod is the agent, the catalyst, but the work, we need to still put the work in, especially when you think of how big these windows are. They're not for the faint-hearted. I remember Neverland on the big field we had, obviously it was, and again, I don't do sunflowers just for the straw either. I really do like doing sunflowers, always have done, and I like oil. I was looking at Mr. Sealy P's footage, and obviously he was sort of showing some of the, not on purpose, on his map review, he was showing some of the productions, and there are little bits where it sort of shows the cycles, and I'm thinking, oh my life, that's awful. Like, but I mean, there is one thing I did like, which I thought was quite good, and that is, well, there's quite a lot that I like. What I mean is, one feature I really did admire was the fact that we get little productions. You see, I always do productions in the farm. I'm not now. If we get big ones and the big factories are big, as in goods, I might actually buy some productions on the map. But the giants' normal factories are so awful that you can often have little ones that can outperform them, which I've always thought that made no sense. If you've got a big factory, it's going to produce oil in big amounts, and that's the thing that's not been, I mean, obviously sometimes the recipes, the Giants recipes, like a cereal factory again. I mean, I saw the cereal factory and I had to raise my, I didn't see the how much you get for that, because that is always makes me chuckle that Giants have created the game in such a terrible thing with the cereal factory. So much so that it's the one thing that I've focused on with the factory. I did an odd review on that. It just showed how terrible it is. It's terrible. And they've never changed it. It's still awful. But I mean, I was looking at the rope and I was like, my life. I mean, I would imagine rope's not the dearest thing. I know they've gone for like cotton and wool to make rope, which, yeah, it can be sort of done like that, and it's a compromise. Of course I understand that's all understandable, but the recipe was absolutely terrible. The loss was just tremendous, and I'm thinking, seriously, if you're going to make from wool a rope, I'm going to lose what, like 4/5, 80%? Or it was something. I might not be quite that bad, but it's bad. And I was like, huh? Seriously? And you wonder why I don't use your productions as soon as the mods come in? I don't want to buy a Giants factory because they are so terrible, and it just makes no sense. But what I'm saying is the cycles in the big factories obviously are better than the cycles in the little ones. So right now it should the straw should come from the big silo on the hour. So my life we're up to 1793. And let's have a look at how much we've got in the silo, because this is the important thing now. It's going through. Do I go into a time lapse again? You know, we should. This is the very. Oh wow, it's all gone. It took that 400 tons straight away, and it's gone straight. So this is everything now. We have the yeah. So I don't want to like waste. Yeah. Also, I did notice that the you know when I said about oh I don't think we're going to like overfill the trailer. Well, I think we're getting fairly high. All my life, yeah, 63 tons, 93%. Now that goes to show how good that field is. That's amazing. It really is for a field of that size. So that's everything done. Let's get this in because we need the farmer Jeb to do his magic. Yeah, I mean, again, it is, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's your productions, your factories, even if they're little. I mean, it's quite believable that the little factories. I was going to say I pressed my indicator. I don't know why I did. I thought it was flashing, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, you live and die by cycles. I mean, it's why you very, very rarely. There's only Neverland where we were given that, and even that I had to upgrade them, even though it cost me a fortune, because it just couldn't cope with any level of like. And the Farmer Jeb doesn't need upgrading. Farmer Jeb has made a factory that is believably good. You know, it really is a powerful factory, and it's a specialist. And then there's ones like the Omatana, again, where she's done it at the. I think I've got it. No, this is just as good. Yeah, she's done it so that it's believable. It's got lots of little factories in it, so therefore it's not brilliant, which is good. It's believable. The all-in-one by the law, it was cheeky. It was a good. It's a bit. It's not upgraded his recipes, and it stands out now, which is why you don't ever see me use it. Not because I don't like it, but it's sort of got very destructive like giants recipes that I just when I could get things like the Farmer Jeb, it never was about the money. Yours was a very reasonable, and it's brilliant at certain things. Like it's fantastic at flour, not so good at bakery, or wasn't. But he did upgrade it. I put it in a bit ago again when he did his last upgrade, and it's good again. But like there's things that outshine it now, so I'd steer clear of it. It's not even in my mods, and I am a massive fan of the mod's work. I really am, but it's just not there anymore. Which is just a personal opinion. I'd sooner like go Farm Jeb or Omatana Farm Factory for that type of thing. No, I don't think that's the right one somehow. Yeah, I think so the only we'll use the new. I'm going to use the Labouche because it's not been used. That's the other thing. Even if it takes like 4 or 5 attempts to do it, I will do it. Right, so let's switch that on as well. I don't know that I actually switched it on. Old General Mill, sunflower oil, yes. And we want everything storing. Canola is 40 tons. Right, let's grab that Labouche. I'm going to let this drop though gently. Let's go grab we've got plenty of tractors. We have got plenty of tractors in the yard. We have some of them. Let's grab the New Holland that doesn't get much of an outing really. It sticks on that. It does a very valid job, I might add. Yeah, I'm not like saying okay, yeah, we could use the Universal, which has had even less airtime, but then again it was the last member of the team to be added, so yeah, the only thing I think sort of ruins a bit is that this very even, when you sort of go above and look at it, you can see it's a human created pattern, so much so that it shouts out that it's a pattern, you know, so it sort of ruins it a bit. That's the only thing that I was going to say. I think really the yard doesn't look too bad, what we've done. It looks quite believable. Because I do like, I like one that isn't too bad. It's still very light. It's a 5-ton tractor. And that's, even though it's got 250 horses, it still is, you know, it's a light tractor. It'll never, ever it's just not got the weight to do a lot of things. But it's definitely got the pulling power, so But yeah, you're going to get that skittering and that. And this is only a 20-ton trailer. This last time I looked was up to 400 odd tons, even though it doesn't look like it. Right, okay, so then we want to stick some in the production shed and also make sure that we've got this switched on. So we've missed a little bit of a trick. A little bit, but nothing too special. Yeah, these are all going strong. Yeah, the manure is, that's reading the form. That's it. That's what it's up to now. I thought what we could, in fact, I suppose we could, a sensible person could stick some straight in there. Although we've got the water, I think that's what we said last time. Let's just stick it straight in the production shed. We do 2 or 3, do 4 or 5 in this first sort of bit, and then yeah, and we also need to switch it on. So let's do that too. Yeah, because we haven't done we've got the manure plus slurry, and we could do the manure plus digestate rather than just digestate. And we could, I think we were doing the slurry. Yeah, let's switch that off as well, because I think between the two, there's not that much slurry in there. But also, it does need about the same with manure, so we can't go mad with the manure. It's pointless because there's not enough slurry. So we're sort of trying to. In fact, we ought to look at the home brew test. I think we might have too much. We're sort of keeping quite abreast, but it's yeah. For some reason, I'm still not 100% sure the manure's doing what it should do, but it's reading right. And I do know if we move it, it's sort of beyond my thing that the game sort of doesn't quite work right with it, because additional storage is built into the game. So what I'm trying to say is, it's I mean, there's sometimes when it's obvious that cheating goes on, as in like the system cheats, but I can't really see it on this one. But it does sort of seem, we seem to be building up more and more and more, rather than like less and less and less. I mean, and that chugs, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just that we just get in way too much, because it does chug through the manure side of it, so I'm not sure, because it is that we're getting a lot of, we've got 500 odd head of cattle, that does produce an awful lot of slurry and manure. So yeah, it is what it is. It might be that I've not done this often enough, this shifting stuff, you know, like from one to another. So that's about 60 or 80. See, it's managing. It is only managing though. I would expect this almost 150 horsepower tractor to manage this particular type of weight and thing. So it's still, although it's 250 horsepower, doesn't seem to be overly strong. Yeah, so that is definitely a feature. I did like the fact that you've got homemade productions, little ones for the farm. Again, in time, obviously, I would imagine we're probably going to get the upgrade factories. I mean, it's one of the viewers and subscribers mentioned the upgraded factories has broken it. Now, it may be that, but I've got to be honest. It may be that that's broken things for me a few times, but on the whole, I have this on every Let's Play, and it's not broken things on every Let's Play. So the common denominator doesn't seem to me to be the upgrade factors in my mods. That doesn't mean to say I'm calling that person who kindly said that he'd removed it, I think it was Matt, and that I'm calling him a liar. So that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that with having it on so many Let's Plays, 74, yeah, excuse me, yes, right, so let's go through. Yeah, it's a shame about that massive. I say we've also built, as in with having that fantastic cedar that dropped. If we were continuing with the planter, sorry, well, it sort of seeds as well. So yeah, I can see why I'd said that. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's also got the. I do that a lot. It's got the roller built in, so I don't really need to do that. Did we do? Can't get rid of all the slurry. No, we didn't. So in that case. That's filled, we'll stick the rest of this into the production shed, and that's going to produce more. I'm obviously expecting we've got a shed load of straw, which is going to make a shed load of silage, which is going to make a shed load of fertilizer. So I am expecting that from yeah, like what we're going to see next. So let's get on.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And as always, as fellow shareholders on the farm, I always love to hear from you. And goodbye for now.